Hey guys, welcome back for another video. We're going to continue off of where we left off in the last online coaching progression videos with Wahid. We talked about making sure his hands are going in and up. This is where we left off. In and up, feeling no wrist hinge. So we're going to move on to the next piece now. So if I remember correctly, think about no forearm rotation to get the shaft up steeper. So you can see on the video on the left, his hand path's improved, but his shaft is quite flat. So when the left arm is parallel to the ground in the backswing, if we draw a straight line down the shaft, we want the line to point at the ball or inside the ball. So you can see Wahid is pointing way outside the ball here with the green line. If I use the red line as where I want it, we want it pointing at the ball or slightly inside the ball. So he's quite flat here right now. So I had Wahid feel no forearm rotation. So you can see here, I walked Wahid through what's steep and what's flat. So steep is vertical to the ground, flat is parallel to the ground. So I'm telling him that as a right-handed golfer, he's rotating his forearms clockwise too much, which gets the shaft going back very flat. You can see. So when we go up, the shaft is much steeper here because I'm not rotating my forearms. I'm not letting my forearms rotate. Wahid is rotating his forearms too much. Okay, so we want to make sure. So I'm explaining to him right now. We want this club. So I'm just asking him to no form rotation, hands still go in and up. And as you guys saw in the video on the right, if I have no form rotation, hands go inside, club stays outside the hands as it goes up, and shaft is definitely much steeper at left arm parallel. So how does Wahid do? Let's take a look. So the video on the right here is Wahid's first try with not forearm rotating. Let's see how it goes. So actually, it was a pretty good try here. His hands go in and then up. Now his hands they go in a bit too much. We're going to refine that later on. It's not important. We just want to make sure that his club is steeper, and it is. So first try here, his club is already steeper and pointing inside the ball versus outside. Versus the video on the left, you can see his club is pointing way outside the ball with the green line. So if I draw lines here for you guys, I'll use the red line here on the left. He's pointing way outside the ball. On the right, he's actually pointing slightly inside the ball now. So I know if the hands go more inside, more deeper here, it does move the line a bit more inside, but the shaft is definitely steeper than before. We're going to refine the hand path a little bit more so that the hands are going more in and up. He kind of went in and back here, but this is definitely progress here on the right, where he goes in with steep shaft and then downswing. Whatever happens for now. Versus the video on the left, you can see because his shaft was a bit flat, it does still want to steep then shallow a bit, although it is way better than the previous video. Okay, so it's definitely still progress. Video on the right here now is the most recent progress. It's steeper on the way up, and then it shallows out. It just flattens a little earlier for him, which is what we're working towards. So a lot of good progress here. We want to make sure it goes in and up with no form rotation, and then whatever happens from there. So I'll play this at half speed for you guys. In and up with no form rotation, and then whatever happens from there. Okay, guys, so that's what we've done so far with Wahid. We first worked on the turn, then we worked on the hand path, and then we're working on making the shaft steeper in the backswing, which he's done a good job of implementing initially here. So I had him go back and work on it more. I asked him to make sure the hand path is going in and up versus in and back. So the video on the left here now, let's see where he's at. His hands go in, club goes through the hands, which is nice. But now you can see his hands are not as deep, okay? He's done a good job of keeping the shaft steep because the shaft is pointing inside the ball, but his hands have gone a little less back. It still goes a bit back, but at left arm parallel, you can see his hands are definitely less deep on the left here versus the video on the right, which is his first try. So it's definitely progress. He's going in, and I'm going to play this a half speed for you guys. On the left, he goes in and up with a steep shaft, and then shaft starts flattening on its own earlier in the downswing, which is nice to see. So it's definitely progress. We're going to continue helping him try his best to not have the shaft, not have the hands go so far back as he goes in and up. I really want to make sure that his hands stay more in front of him during the backswing turn. So he goes back, he refines it. It goes back, he refines it. Video on the right here. Let's see how he does. Goes in and up. Shaft is still nice and steep. And now his hands are a little less deep now as well, left arm parallel. So his hands have incrementally gotten less deep and less deep and less deep. It's close actually. He can still be even less deep. At least at left arm parallel, have his hands more in line with his shoulders, not so much behind his shoulders, but it's still progress. He's a very new golfer. We're moving very fast here, and the important things, which are again the turn, the in and up backswing hand path with the shaft steep, which will lead to the shaft flattening a little easier on its own. All that's going well right now. So definitely progress. Show you guys a face on as well. It's definitely coming together. So face on the right, he's keeping his turn nicely. Stopping at a nice spot at the top. He's pretty centered. Nice turn. Whatever happens, happens in the downswing. And then video on the left, there's a down the line, in and up. And then things shallow out nicely for him. So it's really, really good. Let me see if I can fast forward to a couple of videos after. Actually, a good point here to note. So on the right here, I just screenshotted for him. When his hands go inside to around that checkpoint there, just before shaft parallel, as his hands pass his right leg, I want him to feel like the hands go more up along the green line rather than the red line, okay? So we know that his hands get a bit too deep. He likes to go, hands go in and back. It's less back than before, but still likes to go in and back. I want him to really go in and up, go up along the green line. So when we look at the following videos after this instruction, did a much different job here. So hands go in and up. So the hands are definitely less deep now, okay? Shaft is still very steep, which I love. Whoops. Club is still very steep, which I love. But his hands are now going in and up. And then whatever happens, happens in the downswing. So unfortunately, he didn't get as much depth here because he kind of cheated it and went hands in outside and up, whereas I want him to go in and up. So, but it's still a very, very good attempt here. So if I use the video here on the right as a new baseline when we're working off of, you can see now on the right, this is the next video. I've asked him to make sure it's still going in and up as he turns. The video on the right, he goes in and then out and then up, because when he goes in and up, he wasn't really turning. We want to blend the upwards of the hands with the turn. So in the video on the right here is actually going in and up as he turns. Hands are now kind of in line with his shoulders at left arm parallel, which is much more where I want it for him. Shaft is still nice and steep, as you guys can see. He's pointing way inside the ball. Everything collects, and then whatever happens, happens in the downswing for now. So it's come a long way. Video on the left was the in, out, and up, which is still progress. Video on the right, we're just starting to blend it together. So hope that helps. That's kind of how we're going to do things. It's still a bit rough. We're going to continue refining things as it becomes a higher priority. But really, at this point, with Wahid as a pretty new golfer, I want to just really grind in the foundation stuff first. We can refine things later. But Wahid's done a great job here of making sure the shaft goes up steeper with the in and up backswing. Play this at half speed for you guys. In and up backswing with a steeper shaft versus the first attempt here on the left, in and up with no form rotation. It's definitely better, but better than the previous, but still a bit flat, as you guys can see. But it's definitely come a long way since the first video check. And in the video on the right now, I'll play the normal speed. much more organized and structured. So hope that helps, guys. We're really focusing on highest priorities, backswing turn for Wahid, then the hand path, and now making the shaft steeper in the backswing by not forearm rotating. So hope that helps. Hope that helps you guys guide yourself when you guys work on the swing, what to look for, how to cue things. We're gonna continue working through this year process with Wahid in this video series so you guys can see how we continue to work on things or refine things for him. But any questions, leave it in the comments below, and we'll catch you guys next time. Thanks, guys.